Once again, we're on the highways and byways. We'd like to give all praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Double honors to the elders of GMS. And salute all you brothers on the highways and byways that's putting in work in the strength of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. We are here together to elect the Israel. And not to elect the Israel, the Israelites, pursuant to the scriptures, their biblical nationality are Israelites, but today you know them as Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and they have to be from their father's side because the man carried the seed. Alright? Those are the true biblical Hebrew Israelites according to the scriptures, the Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. We are here together to elect for them. I'm gonna start here tied down. Alright, so like it about that. Alright, I'm gonna start in 1 Corinthians chapter 10. So we're in the time of these heathens are celebrating Thanksgiving, the slaughter of the North American Indians, which are the Hebrew Israelites, you know, according to the scriptures. Brothers have brought out documents, books, history books. I got them, they got them, you know, to prove that the Native Americans and the Latinos descent are Israelites. And I'm gonna start here in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, because that's what these heathens, and our people are falling after the heathens and worshiping the things of Thanksgiving and of Christmas that's coming up, which mean the slaughter of Yahushua. That's what Christmas means. You see? So you got our people into that madness. But this is a good chapter to go into. And I'm gonna start at like I said, start at 10. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 1. Moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant how that all our fathers were under the cloud and passed through the sea. What was that? That cloud was a chariot, which is the chariots of Israel. Okay? This is what Paul is explaining to the Corinthians, which are Israelites that was in Greece. Okay? Alright? I'm going to read that again. It says, moreover, brethren, I will not that ye should be ignorant how that all our fathers were under the cloud and passed through the sea. What sea was that? The Red Sea. When the Most High put the Spirit on Moses to split that sea. Okay? The Red Sea. When that was coming up out of Egypt. It says, verse 2. It says, and were all baptized unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea, and all did eat the same spiritual meat. Now what meat was that? That was going into that manna. Okay? That was going into that manna. So that's what Paul is explaining to the Corinthians over there. Okay? And it says, and did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of the spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Yahushua. So that lets you know what Paul was doing, pursuing the Exodus chapter 17, when Moses had smite that rock for the nation of Israel through the power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. And what Paul is doing now, he's using that analogy, and he's showing you now that rock, when Moses has smited that rock to nurture Israel to get them water, Paul is using that analogy. He's using this to show you that spiritual rock now is Yahweh Shai. Okay, that's what he's doing. I'm gonna read it again. And it says, and did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Yahweh Shai. So, like I was saying, he's using that rock, which it was an actual rock that he had to smite, and the Most High put the power on him to nurture Israel, and the chariots was following him, and it was Yahweh Shai. So Paul is using that analogy to let you know that that spiritual rock is Yahweh Shai. All right. It says, but with many of them, Yahweh was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness. Now, and just like in when we came up out of Egypt, and we was our ancestors came up out of Egypt, and we was in the wilderness, the Most High was displeased with us because of what we was doing, and how he had showed great power to deliver us out of the house of bondage, which is Egypt. Okay. They biblical nationality is Mizraim, Matazarian. All right, that's like you said in the Hebrew. But Egypt is the Greek word. Egyptos, which means bondage. All right, and Mizraim means bondage too. All right, and it says, this verse 5 again. But with many of them, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness. Now the same thing they was doing back then, they doing it today. Because when you read Revelations chapter 12 verse 4, let me get it right fast, add on to this. This is Revelation chapter 12. I'm gonna jump down to let me see here. Revelation chapter 12 verse alright, here it go. Verse 6. And it says, I'm going to start at verse 6, Revelation 12 and 6. And the woman fled into the wilderness where she had a place prepared of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, that they should feed her there 1,203 score days. Now that wilderness, now this going into 70 AD. This going into 70 AD when the Romans came in there and they slaughtered our ancestors and put the land of Israel. They made it desolate. Okay, and our people had to run up out of there, and some of them went to Masada, some of them, you know, fled to other parts. And that wilderness right there is known as Africa, because our people had to flee into Africa, and from there we was carried into America. So the reason why I'm reading this to let you know that we still in the wilderness, just like we was in the wilderness during the ancient time, during the time in the book of Numbers. Okay, that's what it means. 40 years. That's what the book of Numbers means. 40 years in the wilderness. All right, I'm gonna read this again. This Revelation 12, verse 6. And the woman fled, which that's the nation of Israel. That woman fled into the wilderness where she had a place prepared of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, that they should feed her there 1,203 score days. Now that place where we getting fed is America. So you got to remember, when we fled into Africa in 70 AD, and then from Africa we was brought over here in the transatlantic slave trade and we've been here ever since. So this is the place where we getting fed. But while we getting fed over here, having jobs and things of that nature, while we getting fed over here, what we do? Go into the customs of these Edomites, you see, and these heathen nations, by celebrating Thanksgiving and Christmas, which we're not supposed to do. Okay? It says in that 1,203 days, that's going into 3.5 years, which go back to 300 and what is it? 300 and let me see. 350 years, like 350 years. So when we came off that slave ship, all the way up to Abba Bibbins, when the nation of Israel started waking up, that's what they calculate up to. And we've been over here ever since, okay? Now I'm just letting you know, they're showing you that we're in the wilderness still, all right? But we're not in our homeland, because our homeland is Jerusalem, all right? Now I'm going to start back at 1 Corinthians chapter 10, and I'm going to read that again. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 5. But with many of them, Yahweh Shai was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness. All right? Now let's find out what he was not pleased with them, why he was not pleased with them. And it says, now these things were an example to the intent we should not lust after evil things as they also lusted. So when they was in the wilderness, what they was doing, when Yahweh Shai had did those miracles and had brought us up out of Egypt, what they do, what did they do? They were still having them Egyptian ways, was still trying to keep their customs while they was in the wilderness. Okay? That's going after your lust, trying to keep the customs of a heathen nation after the Most High just destroyed them. You see? And that's the same way with America. What our people do, they want to celebrate Thanksgiving when they find out the meaning of it, and when they find out, they still do it. That's going after your lust. When here we are, the brothers on the highways and byways, reading the scriptures showing you that those are things you're not supposed to do. Okay? It says, neither be ye idolaters, whereas were some of them, as it is written, these people sat down to eat and drink and arose up to play. Now, when they sat down to eat and drink, what that mean? That mean that they was worshiping the things that they was that Egypt got destroyed for. You see, they was taking on them customs. They were still doing what they was doing in Egypt after the Most High separated them from them heathens in the wilderness. Okay, so that's why the Most High was displeased at them. That's one reason. Okay, and it says these people sat down to eat and to drink and rose up to play. Now let's find out what that's going into. Let's get Exodus 32 and 6.
That's right, baby. She don't play getting across that street heavy. I need. She don't play getting across the street.
Exodus 32 and 6. Because our people, man, they don't want to listen, man. Alright. It says this what they were worshiping, the idols that was in Egypt. Alright. Now I'm gonna read this, Exodus 32, and I'm gonna start at 2. It says, and Aaron said unto them, break off a golden earring break off golden earrings which are in the ears of your wives, of your sons, and of your daughters, and bring them unto me. And all the people break off the golden earrings which were in their ears, and brought them unto Aaron. And he received them at their hand and fashioned it with a graving tool. After he had made it a molten calf, and they said, These be thy gods of Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. So that lets you know right there that they was worshiping after the Most High showed that them Egyptians didn't have no power, and after he destroyed their idols, our people, our ancestors, went back and made a calf to worship. And that's another reason why the Most High was displeased with Israel. After he had destroyed them and showed them that them idols ain't nothing. Okay? And then this verse, let's see. This is verse 5. And when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it, and Aaron made a proclamation and said, tomorrow it is a feast to the Lord. So they were making altars and worshiping those idols. And then it says, and they rose up early in the morning and offered burnt offerings and brought peace offerings, and the people sat down to eat and to drink and rose up to play. So that's what that was going into when Paul was explaining that in Corinthians. All right, let me go back to Corinthians. You gotta bear with me. Satan getting mad as wind blowing. All right. It says, I'm back in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 7. It said, neither be ye idolaters, as were some of them, as it is written, the people sat down to eat and to drink and rose up to play. So our people were worshiping them idols, man, right after the Most High had destroyed them Egyptian idols, man. Right after he destroyed them and showed them that they had no power, they were building calves, man. You see? Things that couldn't even deliver them, and that shows you how gullible Israel lived. And then they gonna sit there after they seen the Most High, do all them works, they still said the calf brought them out of Egypt. So the same way with today, we telling you out here on the highways and byways who the true power of the nation of Israel is, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and we going through the scriptures, breaking them down through the spirit, all of us on the highways and byways, but yet it's still, you want to sit here and worship what the white man say worship, believe what the white man say. You see? Esau, the devil that the Bible speaks of. So therefore, when you do those things, the Most High get jealous, and guess what he gonna do? Punish you when he send his son here. Because when we read them scriptures and we show you them death penalties through the scriptures, we showing you that's the reason why Yahweh Shem Yahushai is gonna come and kill you. That's the reason why we read them, because of what you doing, and we showing you, look, it's death penalties. And that's what's gonna end up happening to you, being put to death. It's gonna be grievous too. So you think they just reading them because that's what they want to read, or they just think they tough. No, we showing you the penalty for what you're doing. It's a death penalty. And by you worshiping Thanksgiving, celebrating that madness, which is the slaughter of the North American Indians, and then celebrating Christmas, breaking your neck to go buy your kids gifts. When they way past wicked, they tell you they gonna die. But why? Because you people ain't right. It tell you you gonna lose your wife and your kids gonna be put to death. Jeremiah 16 tell you that. You see? All right. Yeah, Jeremiah 5, like the brother said. The brother can't speak right now because he's sick. You know, the elements, you know, and these weak bodies got the brother sick right now. So that's why he ain't saying too much, because he's sick right now. His voice it'll be all right. Send them prayers up. You'll get over it. You know, the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua.